So here we go, welcome back to another edition of Game Day. It's a big one in League One as Town take on Pompey in this big clash at Portman Road. Looking forward to this one, should be a good crowd. I want to go and get the thoughts from good old John Watson on the team news and some snap predictions. Let's go.
Hey Ross, it's John. Just seen the team news. Absolutely delighted that our skipper Sammy Morsey's fit and Burns is fit as well. Not having those in the team would have been a massive blow. We were all expecting Edmondson to be out, so it's no surprise Burgess is in. A little bit surprised that Luco's on the bench, but I love Chapless as well. So, yeah, really positive team news. The injuries aren't as bad as feared. Hopefully they can be fully fit for the entire game and they can impose themselves. So, yeah, bring it on. Come on, you Blues.
So, hey, it's Bono, Francine and the Wasmeister, Matt Worrell. How you doing? So, we're at the Greyhound Pub in sunny Ipswich. The weather is beautiful and hopefully so will the result be, guys. Yeah. What do you reckon? Ladies first.
3-0 Ipswich.
3-0. Any particular reason?
I don't like predicting we're going to lose, and 3-0 seems like a good scoreline.
Okay. Who's going to stand out today?
Jackson, I think, will stand out. And I've got to go for my boy, haven't I? My boy Chaplin, my boy Chappers. It's got to stand out.
Quality.
Yeah.
What's my start?
I'm feeling a lot more confident now we know that Burns and Morsey are playing.
Yeah.
I'm still going to stick with what I went with on the pod. I'm going to go for the 1-0, and I think Caden Jackson to score following a delightful Wes Burns assist.
Is that where he smashes it into the box?
I reckon it will sort of drill it in, and that implies that he's kind of got some level of thought behind it. But I reckon he'll just bang it in the box, and Jackson, it will just sort of hit him and go in. And I'll take that all day. I don't need any of this drama. Just 1-0, see it out. And I think it's a big day for Cameron Burgess. He's just going to put his head on everything.
As the fridge called him, the most boring man in the world, or something like that.
If the fridge is out, we've brought in the freezer.
I like it.
Yeah.
I guess I better predict a score. I think we're going to go 4-0 Ipswich Town. I've no idea who is going to score. I would like Morsey to score. I'd like Wolfie to score from a corner.
Yeah.
And I think somebody, definitely.
Put his nut on something.
Yeah, on your noggin, son. I think it's going to be a Portsmouth player sent off as well. So maybe Cowley as well.
From the
because he's still upset about
He's going to be upset
Michael
about
Jacobs.
Michael Jacobs was retired in 10 years' time, and he'll still be going on about it.
They could have done things better. But anyway, less about that before we say something we shouldn't.
I'd love to see Raggett get sent off.
Do you think Raggett will lose his rag?
I hope so. And he'll live to regret it.
I'm going to end it there.
On that note, it's been a pleasure. Remember to like and subscribe and give us a good rating on Spotify and other streaming services.
So here we are, game day with Mike and John. My first threesome, so it's a unique experience for me. Frustrating afternoon at Portman Road, Mike?
No, I enjoyed it.
John?
It was a good 0-0 that, I think.
As 0-0 go, it was a good game. I'm disappointed because I wanted 3 points, and I think
we all wanted 3 points.
Yeah,
we got 3 points.
Pompey came for a point, got what they wanted. I've got no criticism in regards to the way they approached the game. They got exactly what they wanted. They probably deserved it. I'd say we didn't create enough. What do you reckon, Mike?
Is this live? Yeah, we created loads of chances in that game. We had about 14 shots on goal. I think they only had about 4, didn't they?
I thought Chaplin was.
They did miss virtually an open goal.
Yeah,
they did.
They did. Yeah. It could have been 1-0 down then. But it might have opened the game up.
Yeah.
I just think Chaplin worked his arse off all game trying to create.
Man of the match, Chaplin.
I think Burgess needs a shout out because a lot of people scrutinise him. I thought he was excellent. He didn't put a foot wrong. He won everything he needed to.
What do you think about Morsey playing that game?
Well, before the game I was really excited, but then I think he didn't last long, did he? Yeah, in retrospect's a powerful thing though, Mike.
Yeah, because once Jackson went down, 2 forced substitutions.
Bit of the walking wounded by the end of the game, I think, weren't we?
Plan goes out the window, doesn't it?
I thought, to be fair, I thought Portsmouth targeted a few players in the first half. There was a few late challenges on Donatian, on Burns in particular. So hey ho.
A few choice words said about the Cowleys on the sideline, but that's all part of the fun, I think.
It was a bit of a pantomime.
They're niggly, they're nasty,
Pompey,
but that's fine.
Anchor.
There's something about the South
Anchor
Coast
and
location.
Mr. Hunt, there were lots of that sort of flying around.
Home of
wasn't
the
there?
Royal
But-
Navy.
Home of the Royal Navy,
I
yeah.
thought the Pompey fans were very vocal, actually. I was,
It was great
It's
to
good
see
to
some
see-
away
it's good to
fans
see
at
some
Portman
away
Road.
fans
Yeah,
for once, actually, yeah.
25,000, good for the home fans that actually showed some voice as well, I thought,
So I'm going
today.
to ask you a question.
Go for it.
Are the playoffs still on?
Well, they're still on. It's not over till the fat lady sings, John, but it's a bit of a blow today.
What do we hear?
wow, did you see that fat lady?
One point I would say is that I thought the officiating, there's nothing actually wrong with it, but they've just got to be stronger. There's so much stuff going on where I think the players ended up running the game. In fact, I think Cowley on the sideline ended up running that game, and it's not the reason why we didn't win, but it's just really frustrating. And then we kicked off at 3:05. It's another one of my bugbears. Can someone start bringing that up in front of the EFL? Why are we kicking games at bloody 3:05? Want to go get in the pub by 5? Thank you.
3 o'clock watershed.
Is that why?
Yeah.
So you're happy overall? You happy with the point or not?
I was happy with the game. It was a good game, I thought.
You looked delighted.
It looked like we were going to score. It was exciting. It was like, we're going to get a goal in a minute. But it never turned up, obviously.
No, 0-0 from us, but on to next week.
Which is?
Oxford, away. You'll be there, won't you?
I'll be in the fourth stand.
Excellent.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Goodbye.
It's David. Frustrating, ultimately, isn't it? We deserve to win. We were the better side throughout. We created the better chances. We were on the front foot. We had more possession. All of those sort of things. Ultimately, I'm not in line. I don't know whether it was offside, but I think it was crossing the line anyway if Bon hadn't touched it. What really gets on my last one, and I'm not going to have a direct go at Carroll here. May surprise you. If Morsey had stayed on the pitch, we win that. I thought Carroll was decent in his own terms. His problem is his own terms are shit. He's sideways passing. He doesn't have that drive. And if we'd have had the impetus and the drive of a Morsey in midfield, I think that's a different game. I don't think Carroll did anything wrong. It's just that what he did right wasn't the type of thing we need to do right. So a different midfield, we do something slightly different. That's ultimately it. My frustration, and I don't blame Portsmouth for being a bunch of cheating, because they've come away with a point. That's what they're happy with that. I have a problem with that utterly infuriatingly useless, inept, talentless waste of space that is a referee. Because if you're going to do the whole wiggly hand nonsense because somebody's wasting time, book them. How are you going to? That's the only way you're going to stop somebody is by booking them. It's blatantly, obviously what they're doing. If that's a foul by Nadasian, which it wasn't, which is evidenced by the fact that Morrell got straight up when Chaplin upset him, then the foul afterwards is a booking for Morrell, let alone the one immediately after that by Morrell. Utterly spineless by the referee, and referees have been awful. They're awful in the Premier League. It's not our level. They were awful when we were in the Championship under Mick. We complained about them then. They're awful if you watch Match of the Day in the Premier League. Referees have been useless since they went professional. Managers can't criticise them because they get fined. We can't criticise them because it's sour grapes by fans. Nobody can criticise them. You complain about them and you make an appeal, and it's other referees who judge it, and they always come out on the side of the referees. There's no scrutiny for them. That's why they're so bloody awful. You do something absolutely abjectly terrible so that even somebody else goes, yeah, that was bad. You get moved sideways into a different game. If I do my job badly, I don't get moved sideways to do it elsewhere. I don't do my job anymore. And this is my problem with referees. Do it consistently. Be hard, be soft as a referee, do it consistently and do it well. Either that or off and stop being refereeing. Utterly useless. So the referee ruined that at the end of the day. We should have won. We would have won with Morsey. We were better the side. I'm frustrated, but it was a decent performance.
Hello, Alex here. Okay, 0-0. Obviously gutted, absolutely gutted. Let's get a few things off my chest here. On the Kings of Anglia WhatsApp, we were talking about how I felt we looked a bit leggy in midweek. And I just thought if we missed Edmondson and we missed Morsey, we wouldn't have enough to win, with Portsmouth coming to get revenge on their 4-0. So I overestimated Portsmouth. But I said we were going to struggle, and I predicted a 2-0 victory for Portsmouth, which was incorrect. But I didn't think we'd win, which was correct. And I was kind of shouted down about the injuries this and the injuries that. And what happened? Morsey goes off after 20 minutes. And he was injured after 10. He was absolutely knackered. He just didn't look right, and we looked very leggy. And I will not be distracted by the noise around me. Anyway, when Morsey went off, we can't afford to lose Morsey and Edmondson. Too big a loss for us. And we didn't have enough to get over the line. But overall, we battered them in that game. We dominated. Portsmouth were time wasting from about the 47th minute on. They are nowhere near good enough. Portsmouth are shocking. That was dreadful. That was a great result for them. They were bloody awful. I overestimated them. They're nowhere near. As for us, Burgess, outstanding. What a great performance by Burgess. He was quality. He did not put a foot wrong. Wolfie, great. Donasian, always good. Thompson worked his nuts off, as did Chaplin. We had a few chances and we could have nicked it. We were so much better than them. Absolutely gutted. As I've said since November, we are just a little bit short and we're not going to make the playoffs, and that's the way it is. However, we have dominated that second half especially. Look at the stats. It's very sad that we didn't get the win. A few half chances in there. We're a couple of players short. But I knew we looked a bit leggy. You lose Morsey, you lose Edmondson. That's too much of a loss for us to get through, and we are a few players short. Overall, we dominated that game. Really proud. I thought we were excellent overall. We just couldn't get the win. Gutted. Not going to get up this year, but next year I believe we can storm it. And I was right about the injuries. We were leggy. We weren't quite there. I was absolutely spot on, to be honest. Anyway, on we go. Love the team, love the club. Pleasure to be here. Come on, you Blues. Lots of love. Bye-bye.
Well, another frustrating afternoon here at Portman Road for me. Trying to put in the words how to sum that performance up. Like, started off well, then obviously Morsey goes down injured, tries to carry on. Then we just lost our drive in midfield. Like, the rest of the first half, it was all Portsmouth. To be fair, they should have scored. Lifted one over the bar. I think one of their strikers as well tried to lob Walton, who was on the line. Come out second half, we were much better, and I must admit I was one of Carroll's biggest critics, and I was having a go at him first half, to be honest. But second half he came out, done really well. Backinson here and there, but done a good job. But the chances we had, Selena had a good shot. Donasian missed a header, unfortunately. I'd love to see the offside goal again, but I think it was set through gritted teeth. The only thing that got me, obviously, Pompey, they're going to come down here. They're here happy for a point, to be honest, which I would be the same, but it's just, it always winds me up time wasting, but that's football, unfortunately. And much, we're singing Bore and Pompey. We'd do the same. The only thing that got me was when Cowley literally stopped Thompson taking a throw in, pushed him out the way, doesn't get sent off. But I hate to say it, but I think that could be the season over. But hey, we keep the faith, we keep going. Get a win at Oxford, win at Plymouth, it's that easy. Come on the town.
Tight affair today. Draw's probably a fair result. I think the big game-changing moment really is Morsey going off. It was great to see him in the starting lineup, but I think maybe it's a gamble that's backfired. I'm hoping that doesn't mean he's now going to be out for even longer. I mean, he's got a week, but I can't see him playing against Oxford next weekend. Attacking straight in the first half, sort of seemed to die, then going off. We then compounded Jackson. That was almost sort of right in front of me. He's gone down. I'm not sure if it's his knee or his thigh, hamstring. I'm not sure, but he knew something was wrong very, very quickly. And of course, that's changed the whole dynamic of the game. McKenna's lost 2 subs to make any tactical changes there. Portsmouth quite happy to play for a draw and eke the game out. Second half. We finished the game strongly, I thought, but we were going forward, creating chances, but just not really putting anything away. I haven't seen the offside goal yet. Somebody who sits sort of right on the line says they're not offside, or it was Bond getting a final touch and it made it offside. I'm not sure, but I mean, we're the only team to have the ball in the back of the net. It says something really. I think Portsmouth were happy. A point for them is better than a point for point for us really at this point. But yeah, and the ref didn't have much control of the game. Poor decisions aside, he's not booked anybody for time wasted. I'm not sure how Cowley's not ended up in the stands repeatedly standing in front of Thompson and interfering with play. How that's only a yellow, beyond me. I'm sure somebody will correct me in terms of the laws of the game, but that doesn't seem right that manager can do that and just pick up a yellow. Disappointing all in all, really. We needed to carry on the momentum from Tuesday night, but we're up the road, down the road to Oxford next week. Hopefully we can get things back on track.
Very frustrated after that. I'm fed up of teams coming here and time wasting, and I know teams do it. I know why they do it. It's part of the game now. But for a whole half, that's just stupid, and the referee needs to start getting a handle on it. Why did Bond touch the ball? I don't know if it was offside. But if he hadn't have touched it, he would have counted either way. You can't blame him for going for it because he's a striker and strikers want goals. I'd have probably done the same. If I was, I think that's playoffs gone now. Not that I thought. Obviously, I was on the fence before, but I think that's it gone. Results didn't go our way today. It's a worry that Morsey went off injured so early on, and I think that changed the game in the first half because Carroll and Mackinson don't have the physical presence that Morsey has. And then Jackson going off injured as well, another injury that we didn't need because we don't have any other players like Jackson. Bon, Piggott, Norwood, they're all very similar physical players in the fact they've got a presence, but we've not got any players of pace like Jackson, so hopefully it's not a long-term thing, because otherwise we might have a problem. Yeah, frustrating, and referee was rubbish, and we should have won that, we deserved to win that, because we dominated Portsmouth completely. And Cowley's an idiot as well. He should have been sent off, not booked, because he did it more than once.
Well, a frustrating day today at Portman Road. Ipswich versus Pompey. Thought it was going to be a goal thriller. It turned to be a goalless draw in a very frustrating performance, and probably I'm actually quite angry a little bit, but I'll contain my emotions. Start off the game, I thought we started off quite well. We looked quite good. I thought Pompey we backed Pompey into their own half. Just couldn't get that chances, and that final ball wasn't there, and then the inevitable Sam Morsey hamstring gone again. It went on Tuesday, looks like it's probably gone now, went down, and I think that's when the game changed. Pompey got back into the game once he went off, and you can see that midfield domination just completely went from us. It was awful to see, and then we got back into the game. Jackson with a perfect chance, nearly around the keeper, saved, and then the inevitable another injury, he's out. Hopefully that is not too serious. And then Bond came on, and maybe I thought Norwood should have come on, perfectly honest, just to a like for like, but Bond came on and did what Bond does. But the second half, even more frustrating. We dominated the game again the second half, and the theme of McKenna's time at the moment is dominating the games, but just not getting that goal when we need it. So close, the energy was there, but then it was all killed off by the inevitable that happened on the touchline. Thomason running to back of Danny Crowley, and that killed the game then. He was absolutely awful. He was Danny Crowley. He should have been sent off, but I wasn't. But now, 5 points to the playoffs. It's getting tight. Everybody around us won, apart from Wickham. But if we want to make it, we've just got to keep winning games, keep our heads going, and just now move on to the next one, unfortunately.
Matt here after Ipswich Town 0, Pompey 0, but it's one of them again. I think I said after Cheltenham, it feels a bit more like a loss. I think as much as it's easy to moan about Pompey coming and doing the dark arts, wasting a bit of time at the end, it's a point that helps them a lot more than it helps us. They've got sort of 2 games in hand over us, and it's up to both us to deal with that and break them down when they are trying to do that. We had the chances to win the game, I thought, but it's also up to the referee to get his cards out of his pocket, and it's one of those where I think if we were doing the same, we'd probably not be complaining. So as much as it's frustrating when you stood in the stand, it's kind of understandable what they're doing. I think in terms of the game, maybe we shaded it. Don't think we did enough to win. I think if you were sort of giving it a percentage, maybe 55-45, but even that's maybe trying to split hairs a bit too much, really. Like I say, probably didn't do enough to win it. And you kind of got to give fair play to Pompey. You knew Danny Cowley was going to get involved at some point, didn't you? And I think everyone in the ground, apart from the away fans, let him know what they thought of that. And I think it's one of those. Feels like a bit like a body blow because we are now 5 points off with teams around us with games in hand. And I think that probably sees to that, really. We'll go on to Oxford. We'll see what happens until it's mathematically dead and buried. We'll try and keep a bit of hope up, but at the minute it just feels a little bit defeatist. And fair play to Pompey. You've got to give them credit. But we'll see what happens next week. Maybe if teams around us drop some points, we can close the gap a little. But can't really hope that teams are gonna drop points because we've got to keep it in our own hands, and we're not doing that at the minute. So we'll see where we go next week. Up a town.